Motorola has a new feature-packed foldable phone. It's the Moto Razr 60 Ultra, also known as the Razr Ultra in the USA. These sorts of phones just keep on improving, so what's new this time around? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our Moto Razr 60 Ultra review. Flip foldables like the Moto Razr 60 Ultra have a neat trick up their sleeve. They look like a regular smartphone, but then you can fold them closed to take up less space. Moto's been making these phones for a while now, and there are some interesting upgrades with the new model. These include a higher res screen, a flagship chipset, an ultra-wide camera with macro capabilities, and a larger battery. We have our Razr 60 Ultra in Pantone Scarab, which is a dark green hue and is combined with a suede-like material called Alcantara, covering the back. Other options include wood and vegan leather. The unfolded back is split between the glass screen on the top and the backing below. As before, the hinge is made from stainless steel. It can hold the phone open at different angles, which does have its uses for things like vlogging. The frame is made from aluminum, and like the hinge, it matches the green colorway. A nice touch. Between the backing, the colors, and the form factor, this phone has a unique look that you won't find anywhere else. There is a new hardware key this time around. It's a dedicated button for calling up the phone's AI assistant, and it can't be reassigned. You can also summon the AI by double tapping on the back of the phone. The Razr 60 Ultra has ingress protection rated at IP48. That means it has some dust resistance compared to last year's IPX8, which had none. The main display is a foldable 7-inch OLED with a high 165Hz refresh rate. And this year there's a higher resolution too, an improvement over last year's 1080p. There is a crease, of course, where the screen folds over, but it's subtle and easy to forget about if you're not looking for it. Then there's the second screen, which you'll use when the phone is folded. It remains the same as last year, a 4-inch 1080p LTPO OLED with matching capabilities to the inner one, plus Gorilla Glass Victus protection. Again, Moto has done well to match the two displays when it comes to brightness. The foldable inner screen maxes out at around 490 nits with the manual slider, and this can boost to about 1490 nits in auto brightness mode. The cover screen is about the same, achieving 500 nits manually, and boosting to about 1520 nits in auto mode. It's a decent showing, but we wish manual mode was a bit more lax and allowed for a higher max brightness. While both panels are 165Hz, the only time we saw the phone using that was within games, if this refresh rate was selected within the gaming settings. Otherwise, the screens will max out at 120Hz, which is the standard these days for smoothing out swiping and scrolling. And thanks to the LTPO tech on both displays, their refresh rate will dial down to 1 Hz when idling to save energy. The inner display is quite sharp, sharper than your typical 1080p, and you get support for 10-bit color, HDR10+ video, and Dolby Vision on both the inner and outer screens. Switching between the two screens, even while playing a video, is relatively seamless if you don't have a lock screen to go through. Otherwise, it would take a few steps. Besides video playback, there's plenty of functionality on the cover screen. You have access to quick toggle settings and a task switcher. And there's a shortcut you can use to access your notifications. You can run quite a few apps here, not the full suite, but still several Google apps and others. Of course, Moto didn't forget Google Gemini, so you still have access to AI functionality while the phone is closed. You can even play certain games on the cover screen. And there are other apps which can work here as well, but only in widget form. Let's talk about audio. The Razr 60 Ultra has a pair of stereo speakers with very good loudness. The audio quality is very good too, with good bass, great vocals, and well-presented highs. You can check it out for yourself through the comparison tool linked below. The Moto Razr 60 Ultra comes with 256 or 512 gigs of storage on board, and that's not expandable through microSD. And you can wake up and unlock the phone using the side-mounted fingerprint reader built into the power button. It's fast and reliable. As we've seen on other recent Moto phones, the Razr 60 Ultra's interface is the newest version of Motorola's Hello UI on top of Android 15. It packs plenty of additional features on top of stock Android, and they can be found organized into the Moto app. One new addition to Hello UI is Smart Tabs, found within the app drawer. These include a news feed and a new space for your notes, which are sourced from the Journal app. While you do have Google Gemini on board, Moto has also developed its own AI assistant, called Moto AI. Using shortcuts like the dedicated AI key will open Moto AI by default. Moto AI accepts queries just like any other AI chatbot, but it also provides unique features through integration with several other AI services. We'll dive into those features in a dedicated video. Smart Connect is a suite of features that allows you to easily transfer files between devices and connect the phone wirelessly to a PC or a monitor. And now it's even smarter, with the ability to use voice commands to control the interface or search for files across all of your connected devices. And the Moto Razr 60 Ultra will get 3 major OS updates and 4 years of security patches from Motorola. This year, Motorola has decided to equip its flip phone with the top flagship chipset, the Snapdragon 8 Elite. As a result, the Moto Razr 60 Ultra is the most powerful flip foldable to come out yet. On paper, that is. In benchmarks, it does demonstrate high performance, but it actually falls behind this year's other flagships that use the same chipset. The reason is the form factor. The Razr 60 Ultra must undergo significant throttling not to overheat. This brings its scores down roughly to the level of phones running last year's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Here are the results of our prolonged CPU stress test, and you can see that the performance dips considerably. When using the phone though, we didn't run into any issues. And considering the phone's form factor, we're okay with the trade-off. We may not be getting the best CPU performance, but the benefits of the high-tier chipset go way further than that. You get the latest connectivity, the best NPU for AI tasks, and also a great ISP for camera performance. And now, the battery life. The Razr 60 Ultra has a larger 4700 mAh battery this year, and as a result, the battery life is much improved, with a great active use score of 15 hours and 10 minutes in our tests. There's support for 68-watt charging here, but unlike last year, there's no charger included in the box. With a proper adapter, we were able to charge the phone from 0 to 78% in half an hour, and a full charge took 45 minutes. It's just the same as last year's model. And there's also support for 15-watt wireless charging here. We've made it to the cameras, and the Razr 60 Ultra has 2 on the back, a main camera and an ultrawide, both with autofocus. It's a change from last year's model, which instead of an ultrawide had a 2x zoom camera. Another change is that all cameras now have 50 megapixel sensors, including the selfie cam. It captures great looking selfies with very good detail and excellent colors and dynamic range. But as good as it is, it almost feels wasted on a flip phone, like this one. That's because one of the draws of a foldable phone is that you can use the secondary screen as a viewfinder in order to snap selfies with the rear cameras. By taking selfies with the main camera, you'll get a moderate improvement in quality over the inner selfie cam, plus a bit more background blur. And you also have the option for an ultra-wide selfie. This could be handy, for example, if you're doing a group shot. Unlike last year, there's no option for zooming when you shoot in this mode, not even digitally. Let's move on to the regular photos from the main cam. During the day, they come out very good. They're expressive, with vibrant colors and plenty of contrast. Detail is quite good too, with a reasonably natural rendition, and there's no noise. Pictures of people in photo mode also leave little to complain about, giving us generally appealing skin tones. Although there's no telephoto cam, the main cam has a larger sensor than last year, and is capable of 2x lossless zoom. We're quite happy with how these shots turn out, as they maintain excellent detail levels and good rendition of random textures too. In the dark, the Razr 60 Ultra's main camera turns on an expert performance, some of the best we've seen from a flip phone. You get a nice exposure, excellent dynamic range, great color saturation, and reliable white balance. Detail is also very good, and the processing is likable, without excessive sharpening. And now the ultra-wide cam. Its performance during the day is pretty solid, with good sharpness and detail for this sort of camera. The colors and dynamic range are excellent too. And since this camera has autofocus, you can use it to take close-up macro shots as well, and the quality is pretty decent. At night, the ultra-wide camera does a solid job too. Exposures are nice and bright, and dynamic range is very good. Colors are a bit less saturated than the main cam, and detail is generally alright, but can be softer in darker scenes or in the shadows. The Razr 60 Ultra can record video in up to 8K resolution with the main camera and 4K with the others. We stick to 4K in our tests, and the main camera's footage is very good, with wide dynamic range and vivid colors. Detail is also quite great. The 2x clips are naturally softer. It is acceptable in a pinch though. The Ultrawide's 4K capture is pretty solid, with wide dynamic range, nice colors, and good detail. Video stabilization is always on, and it does an excellent job to smooth out shakiness from walking. And in the dark, the main camera does pretty well. Its videos have good exposure and dynamic range, and colors are also on point, but detail is a bit on the soft side. So there you have it, the Moto Razr 60 Ultra. It's definitely an improvement over the previous model. They've added some dust resistance this time around, and you get much longer battery life, a cutting-edge chipset, and better, more versatile cameras. Our main concerns here are that the CPU throttles heavily, and that this phone is quite expensive, about as much as a true flagship camera phone. If you don't really need the folding tech, one of those could be a better buy. But if you're set on the flip form factor, the Moto Razr 60 Ultra could be worth checking out, especially after its price cools down a bit. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're looking for alternatives, you could save some cash with last year's Moto Razr 50 Ultra. And then there's also the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.